One of the most defining experiences of my life was living in Moscow for 2 years. It's really where I feel like I became an artist. I got to study at the famous Moscow Art Theater. You know, it was Chekhov's theater, it was Stanislavski's theater. Moscow was completely alive, and you could feel this sense of history that was palpable on the streets because so many of the people that I studied with and learned from, you know, they had grown up under a completely different kind of system. During Soviet times, public gatherings were outlawed. There was no way to get together and to express ideas and to share ideas. The only place really where you could do that was in the theater, in these state sanctioned theaters. And the art that was made in these theaters had to have a pro state message. Meyerhold, who was one of the most revered directors in the history of the Moscow Art Theater. And Meyerhold was assassinated by the KGB in his apartment. There's a palpability of this kind of danger that exists on the street of Moscow. The brutality of that city at times really sickened me. I was also overwhelmed by the beauty of the people and the beauty of the spirit and the beauty of the art. It's also given me this sense of such a deep appreciation for this country and how sacred this freedom that we have is. We spoke to one of my very dear friends in Russia. These are dangerous times, and I think that this perspective is unbelievably valuable. I hope you listen with an open heart. And again, this is the perspective of somebody who I consider to be one of the realest ones out there. Man, I love you, man. It's good to see your face.
Love you too, brother. Yeah, great to see you.
I mean, I know there's been so much that's happened since the last time that we spoke, and one of the huge challenges here is just the difference with information and getting clarity. And I'm just wondering, you know, how you are, how you're seeing things. You know, the big news that's reaching us is, you know, because of the pushback in the north. There's this draft that's been instituted, and I'm just wondering, you know, how you can sort of explain the state of things right now.
I well, as you as you know, the situation changes kind of by the day, if not by the hour. Recently, I just read the news that Putin is going to he's going to announce the annexation of all those regions that kind of voted to join Russia. Well, that's going to be a game changer.
Can you explain
Uh,
why that's going to be a game changer?
well, he's escalating. He keeps escalating, and the West will have to respond to it somehow. Yet they are in the West. They are saying that this is unacceptable. Nobody's going to accept the fact that those territories belong to Russia, so it's unconstitutional and it's wrong anyway.
And so once
Um,
Ukrainian soldiers go there, it's as if Russia's being attacked.
exactly. So the whole idea behind that plan that he has is that this is now Russian territory. And if this territory is attacked by the Ukrainians or by with the Western weapons, so it means they are attacking Russia, and Russia have all the legitimate right to respond. And it seems, and many people, more and more people say, those who comment on it, they say that he is looking for a reason to use tactical nuclear weapons.
What do you personally think about that?
Well, he's heading that direction, obviously. I mean, it's not a secret he is sick. It's not a secret that he's, as they say here, with one foot in the deathbed. So he kind of doesn't care. It seems that he wants to drag, if not the whole world, but a couple of countries, he wants to drag to that grave.
When you say it's no secret that he's sick, it's no secret that he's in the deathbed. I understand the reports of his own personal health. The last time we spoke, you talked about so many in Russia supporting the war because of a lack of information and clarity of what's happening. But now you have hundreds of thousands of young men fleeing the country. What is sort of public opinion like these days? Has it shifted massively? Like, are there still many who are very supportive of the war?
Yeah, but listen, we don't know what the public opinion is because nobody is doing surveys and nobody is polling people because people are not going to in this situation nobody is going to honestly tell you what they really think.
But you being there and knowing people and talking to people.
Yeah, but the people I know, they all of them don't support the war, and actually many of them fled. recently. A couple of my colleagues, they left the country, and a friend of mine just recently, she, with her two children, she was driving up to Latvia to cross the border. Thank God she has an Israeli passport, so she's going to go to Israel through the border. And she said that there's a huge line on the Latvia border of Ukrainians who are trying to enter Europe. So the opinion is that nobody can. You see, this is where I have trouble. You know, people here, they don't have arms, and it seems that that's the only way to stop it is to for the armed people to confront it.
Wow.
Uh, People don't have arms. You know, those protesters who go on the rallies, they're immediately taken to jail. They're prosecuted right away, and they are mutilated, and they can't do anything. I mean, literally, if you go to rally, you have to go there with a baseball bat, and you have to fight. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense there because it's really like a sacrifice for nothing.
I know you know many people who go to those rallies. This is what's happening to them. They're getting mutilated there.
Oh yeah, just recently, you know, there was a report. There was this young boy who's like under his 20, I think, and he was reading poetry near the Mayakovsky monument. You remember that Mayakovsky Square monument? So he was reading poetry there. So he was arrested, and they raped him with a dumbbell in police station, John. It's like you can't appeal to them saying, you know, stop the war, please don't do it, please don't kill people, because those guys they kind of crossed that line already. So I mean, the situation is such that now it can be stopped only by force. There is no any other way it can be stopped because it's rolling down the hill, and you know, all these say peaceful measures are exhausted. That's why I'm saying, you know, it really it does look like ending, because Russia is, let alone, you know, the Ukraine is devastated and so many people are killed and all that, but Russia is ruined completely ruined.
How so? Can you give me examples?
Well, you see, the most of the working men, talented people, they flee the country. Tens of thousands of people are sent to the war to be just slaughtered there because they don't have, and it's, you know, let alone that they go there like sheep sent to a slaughter, and they don't even question why they're sent there and what they're going to do there. It doesn't even cross their mind they're going to be killing peaceful people, civilians. Uh, some of them was asked, will they go there? And they say, yes, we will, because we don't want to be in prison. So for you, it's better to go and kill someone rather than to be in prison. And you know, that's kind of a shift in values. It's beyond, you know, it's beyond, as they say, good and evil. It's out of control.
I mean, historically, with all kinds of different, systems of government in place, I feel like Russia has sent so many people to the front lines. I mean, it happened in World War II. Yeah, is this different? Is this
People, you know, people say, all war experts say that what Russia does, Russia is fighting kind of World War II method, so to speak. You know, they're using all the same tools that they used in World War II. They're just sending as many people as they can to the front line. So nobody cares about people here. You know, they do call them like cannon fodder and send them to the front line. And they think, you know, by doing this in 21st century, so they will win the war. And they kind of don't understand that now they're facing military equipment that was not available in World War II. Since Ukraine is given this equipment, Ukraine now can kill all of them without even, you know, they say that now they don't even have bullet wounds anymore.
right? Right. It's like people are just being blown up.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I was reading that a nurse was saying that her whole time there, she hasn't seen a single person with a bullet wound.
Yeah, yeah. And recently I saw this video, somebody in one of the Telegram channels. They posted this video where I think it was one of the conscripts who shot this video on his phone and posted it. And this is like a lieutenant, this woman. She's instructing those men who were drafted what they have to have with them, because the army does not provide them with all the necessary like first aid kits and stuff, so they have to buy it all themselves. And she's saying, buy tampons, buy all these things, because it's very good for the bullet wound. You can stick the tampon in the bullet wound and it'll stop bleeding. She's like instructing them to what to buy. Like tell your family they need to buy it all for you, because we except for the equipment, we're not going to give you anything else. And these guys are going there anyway. I mean, this is mind blowing. And sometimes, you even think, when you think about it, when they show this footage from the rallies in Moscow, you kind of think to yourself, these policemen, fully guarded with all this armor on, they're beating women, they're beating girls, and there is no men there around who would fight for them, who would fight for the girls. And if even there is one guy who would fight for the girls, I mean, nobody is supporting him. There are no other men who would support him.
A policeman in Moscow right now that's doing that's beating on a young woman who's protesting. In his heart, do you think he thinks he's doing the right thing, or do you think he's doing what he feels like he has to do? Can you try to explain to me the psychology of that?
I have no idea, John. I mean, this is like, I would say the moment they did that, this is when they lost their humanity.